M, a teenage girl, finds herself engulfed in a profound sense of boredom and alienation from the world around her. In search of a moment of tranquility, she chooses to rest in her parents' car while they embark on a trek, opting to remain behind. However, her fleeting moment of solace quickly spirals into a nightmare when an intruder begins to knock on the car mirrors, startling her awake in sheer terror.
Hello?
What are you doing? Where's Mom and Dad?
In a desperate bid to alert her parents, she honks the horn.
Is that our car?
Stop it!
But instead of receiving help, she is confronted by a menacing figure who violently forces her out of the vehicle. At that very moment, her father rushes back to investigate her cries for help, only to discover that it's already too late.
Dad!
He arrives just in time to witness the chaos unfold but is swiftly knocked unconscious as her mother, leaving their infant safely in the camping tent, rushes to assist.
The next one goes in his head.
The ruthless intruders launch a brutal attack on them.
Hey, you got a little kid.
Where is he?
Leaving Ian, their innocent child, lost and alone in the woods, desperately searching for his parents amidst the aftermath of this harrowing encounter. The movie begins with a young couple, Ian and his girlfriend Sam, who are planning a romantic holiday to celebrate the new year. Excited for their adventure, the pair sets out on their journey, looking forward to the celebrations ahead. Their first stop is at a hotel along the route, where they intend to stock up on supplies for their journey. This is when an upsetting incident occurs. As Sam gets out of the automobile, she is startled by an aggressive dog barking from a nearby truck. This unexpected encounter makes Sam apprehensive, and Ian, who is focused on navigating, is perplexed by the map and unable to figure out their route. At this point, the truck's owner, German, appears. When German notices Ian's bewilderment, he approaches them. Ian seizes the chance and requests directions to a nearby waterfall, which they had planned to see on their camping trip. However, German offers a different destination, Stone Creek. He assures them that Stone Creek is a good camping area, which piques their interest. Ian and Sam decide to heed German's advice and travel to Stone Creek. As they drive, Ian notices something strange. German is following them in his truck. This insight confuses Ian, almost causing a car accident, but he manages to keep control of the vehicle. When Ian sees that German has overtaken them, he feels relieved, causing him to believe that his concerns were misplaced. Ian and Sam arrive at the camping spot to discover a frightening sight, an abandoned automobile parked there. Despite the strange and uncomfortable presence of the car, the pair chooses to ignore it. They travel a little further and pitch up camp, ready to spend their time together in the wilderness. The tension rises when Ian and Sam notice another campsite close. They conclude that the people of the other camp must have gone outside, possibly exploring the surroundings. This discovery does not appear to concern them, as they proceed to set up their own campsite. After they've set up their tent, Ian heads outside to gather wood for their bonfire. During his hunt, he discovers a young child's hat. The discovery of such a personal item, particularly one belonging to a very young child, perplexes Ian. However, wondering what to make of it and with no obvious explanation, he chooses to ignore it and return to their campground. Meanwhile, the movie introduces us to German and his brother, Chuck, who are portrayed in an unsettling manner. They are spotted leering at a girl, with clearly indecent intentions. The brothers then went to a bar to celebrate New Year's Eve. While there, they converse with other girls, but the situation takes a sinister turn. While talking to a female, Chuck discreetly captures images of her with his phone. German notices this and becomes obviously upset. In the restroom, he confronts Chuck, grabs the phone, and smashes it on the floor. He advises Chuck against such activity, adding that similar behaviors had once landed him in jail for several years. As the New Year's countdown comes to a conclusion, the atmosphere at the bar heats up. Chuck becomes increasingly violent and starts forcing himself on a girl. His advances are met with resistance and disdain, and the girl walks away after vocally abusing him for his behavior. Back in the forest, Ian comes out of his tent to ease himself and notices noises coming from a nearby tent. Curious, he investigates and sees that pigs have rummaged through the food left in the other tent. This disturbing scene raises further concerns regarding the whereabouts of the other campers. Ian's worry builds when he inspects his automobile and discovers that one of its tires has been damaged. The narrative takes a drastic turn the next morning. Ian starts about changing the tire on his automobile because they intend to travel home that day. Meanwhile, Sam starts packing their possessions. During this period, an unusual and unexpected incident occurs. A young boy, unseen by Sam, begins racing after her. The boy, in his haste, falls to the ground. Later, when Sam goes to the tent to fetch the remaining goods, she finds an unexpected discovery. She discovers the little baby who had been following her earlier lying asleep near the tent. The child seems weak and malnourished, as if he hasn't eaten in days. Sam, alarmed by his discovery, hurriedly calls Ian. Ian responds promptly, sending Sam to get a medical kit while he attends to the child. The couple then carefully looks after him, demonstrating great compassion in their efforts to assist. Sam and Ian realize they need to get the child to safety and attempt to depart in their car, only to remember that it has a flat tire. Ian opts to utilize a neighboring parked automobile instead. Chuck arrives in a car at this point, having left a note for German that reads, "Gone hunting." German, after reading the note, decides to depart as well, believing Chuck's actions will cause issues. Ian and Sam approach Chuck for assistance, telling him about the little child they've discovered. Chuck, evidently disturbed by the sight of the child, claims to have seen his family traveling toward Stone Creek. He volunteers to accompany Ian on the search for the boy's relatives, leaving Sam in the car with the youngster. As they leave, Chuck pulls a rifle from his car, demonstrating that he is a hunter. The two travel to Stone Creek, but upon arrival, they are met with a terrifying scene. Several dead bodies were scattered over the region. Ian is extremely shaken by this horrible finding. The scene suddenly flips perspective and takes us back 3 days. It introduces another family, Rob, Margaret and their 2 children, Em and Ollie, a tiny toddler. Ollie is the baby who has been following Sam. Like Sam and Ian, this family had traveled to the area for a camping holiday. The scenario depicts a fairly average day at the campsite. Em is busy photographing herself, while her father, Rob, prepares meals for the family. As night falls, everyone gathers around the bonfire for dinner and enjoys the peaceful outdoor environment. During their talk around the fireplace, Rob decides to share some local lore with his family. He informs them of Stone Creek, a local location reputed to be hazardous. According to Rob, some people supposedly kidnap visitors, rob them and then murder them. Em seems noticeably uncomfortable after hearing this narrative. Rob quickly assures his daughter that he was merely joking, hoping to lighten the tension. After a fun-filled evening together, the family goes to sleep. The following day, Rob and Margaret, together with their youngest child, Ollie, decide to go trekking. Before leaving, they take a minute to commemorate the wonderful event with a family photograph. Em, who dislikes trekking, prefers to stay at the campsite. Em, alone and focused on her phone, quickly notices unusual noises coming from the bushes behind her. The disturbing sounds startle her, so she finds sanctuary by sleeping in the car for safety. However, the calm of the campsite is quickly broken by the approach of 2 scary characters, German and Chuck, driving a truck. They are accompanied by a fearsome dog in a cage. Chuck gets out of the vehicle and begins scrutinizing the automobile in which Em is hidden. Both males stare at Em with a frightening and sinister expression. German wants Chuck to injure the girl, but Chuck is hesitant, reminding German of his previous jail term for similar crimes. German, undeterred, proceeds to check Em's tent, only to find it empty. However, Chuck stays fixated on Em. He taps on her car window. Em, horrified, sees Chuck and instinctively refuses to exit the car, despite his pleadings. In a terrifying turn of events, Chuck's hostile conduct worsens as Em refuses to leave the automobile. He becomes increasingly threatening, demanding that she get out, forcing Em to frantically sound the car horn in a desperate plea for assistance. This sound alerts her parents, Rob and Margaret, as well as German, who run to the car to examine the disturbance. German arrive first and quickly take control of the situation. He forcibly pulls Em from the car at gunpoint. Rob arrives shortly after in an attempt to protect his daughter, but is quickly overwhelmed by German and knocked out with a single, crushing punch. Meanwhile, Marg abandons her youngest child, Ollie, in the tent and sprints towards the automobile in an attempt to protect her daughter and husband. She tackles Chuck boldly, but his superior strength overwhelms her. Em tries to flee into the forest, but is stopped by German, who traps her with his gun. In a sequence of horrible and despicable crimes, German and Chuck torture Rob's family to unimaginable torment and degradation, all in front of the defenseless Rob. During this ordeal, Chuck analyzes Em's phone and discovers a family photo with a young child named Ollie. German and Chuck then question Marg about Ollie's whereabouts.
Where is he? Don't worry, we'll take care of it.
But she refuses to provide any information. German and Chuck play a sadistic and twisted game, placing a can on Rob's head and taking turns firing at it. However, Rob's actions force the can to collapse, prompting Chuck to brutally shoot him in the head, killing him in front of his loved ones. German then plays the same sadistic game with Marg, but when she moves too much, he knocks her out. German tries his shooting abilities while she lies defenseless. After Chuck mocks him for his bad aim, an irate German shoots Marg in the chest and then brutally kills M with a gunshot to the skull. After performing these horrific crimes, German and Chuck head to the tent in search of Ollie. However, they discover it vacant because Ollie had strayed into the forest in search of her parents. Unable to find Ollie, the two men head home, leaving a trail of wreckage and misery. Ollie's absence from the tent becomes an important factor in this sequence. His decision to leave the tent in search of his parents proves to be a lucky escape from the immediate threat posed by German and Chuck. However, his condition remains precarious because he is now alone in the jungle. The movie then shifts to the present day, where Chuck drives Ian to Stone Creek, where he and German previously performed the horrific act of murdering Ollie's family. When they arrive, Chuck is shocked to see Marg's body is missing, which instantly alarms him. The absence of the body means that Marg is still alive, putting them at risk of being caught for their crimes. While searching the area, Chuck and Ian come across Margaret. Ian, in an effort to assist, has Marg tragically shot and killed by Chuck. When Ian witnesses this horrible event, he is overcome with panic, recognizing the full level of Chuck and German's cruelty. Chuck cruelly confirms Ian's worst suspicions, stating that they murdered Ollie's family and want to do the same to him, but not before torturing him. Meanwhile, Sam is with Ollie when an enraged German approaches her. In a frantic attempt to defend themselves, Sam and Ollie seek sanctuary in the automobile. However, German break the car's windshield to get to her. Fortunately, Ian had earlier given Sam a knife, which she used to injure German and escape with Ollie. As Sam flees, German unleashes his dog to pursue her, but the hunt takes an unexpected turn when the dog is distracted by a pig, allowing Sam to escape. Meanwhile, Chuck, in a rage, fires his gun recklessly and inadvertently shoots German, thinking him for Ian. Ollie's crying pulls Chuck's attention to Sam, and he starts chasing after her. After a brief chase, Chuck grabs Sam and pulls her away. Ian, wanting to use German's gun, prepares to shoot Chuck, but hides when he notices him approaching. Chuck is distraught as he watches the scene unfold and sees his injured sibling, German. Chuck is overwhelmed by Ollie's crying and forcibly pulls him from Sam, throwing the child to the ground. In his suffering, German asks Chuck for a gentle death. Chuck is initially hesitant, but he eventually succumbs to his brother's pleas and, with great difficulty and grief, takes German's life. In a thrilling continuation of the plot, Chuck's reign of terror intensifies as he kidnaps Sam. He bonds her at the same location where he previously killed Ollie's family. In a terrible turn of events, Chuck begins to assault Sam, but his plans shift quickly, and he decides to drive her away instead. Meanwhile, Ian, having survived the pandemonium, discovers the keys to German's vehicle on his body. Determined to get aid, he drives to the police station, leaving Ollie alone in the woods. Ian tells the authorities about the traumatic events, prompting officers to quickly mobilize to find Ollie, Chuck, and Sam. As Sam and Chuck drive, Sam sees a chance to distract him. Her actions cause an automobile accident, as Chuck loses control and collides with a tree. Sam regains consciousness after the collision, but she is still bound to the steering wheel, and Chuck is nowhere to be seen. In a frantic attempt to summon assistance, Sam activates the car's headlights. This act draws the notice of a passing police cruiser, which leads the officers to her location. Meanwhile, Ian is exiting the police vehicle when he is stopped by an officer, who, along with his partner, proceeds to the scene of the crash. However, their approach is met with bloodshed, as Chuck ambushes and murders all of the responding police officers in a chaotic gunfight. During the gunfire, Ian is struck in the shoulder by a bullet, exacerbating an already tense situation. In a desperate move, Chuck holds Ian and Sam at gunpoint and orders Sam to drive the automobile. As they drive, Sam asks where Ollie is. Ian, overcome with regret, explains that he left Ollie behind in his haste to seek help. The tension in the car rises as Sam, determined to end this nightmare, suddenly accelerates the vehicle. This action causes severe anguish for Chuck, and the automobile overturns in the ensuing mayhem, knocking Ian out. Chuck and Sam engage in a heated struggle. Sam seizes the opportunity, takes a heavy stone, and smashes Chuck repeatedly in a desperate fight for survival, shattering his skull. This terrible act ends Chuck's reign of terror. The movie's last images show Sam and Ian resting in a hospital, emphasizing the physical and emotional toll of their tragedy. We are left wondering what happened to young Ollie, who was left alone in the woods. However, the plot offers a glimmer of hope when it shows that German's dog is with Ollie, hinting that the devoted animal would protect and care for him until assistance arrives. Thank you for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.